Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Channel 4 BSU News with me, Matt Barlyski, and my colleague Jake Strong. And we are going to be reporting your Bronco update.
Today's top story, BSU students come up with solutions to the ongoing saline bag shortages in hospitals throughout the United States.
Following the devastation of Hurricane Maria, restoring power to the island of Puerto Rico is still an ongoing process. These power issues have created a major problem for the United States pharmaceuticals industry.
Very interesting.
It is.
Puerto Rico produces more pharmaceuticals by dollar value for the United States than any of the individual 50 states or any foreign country. In fact, pharmaceutical products made in Puerto Rico account for nearly 10% of all drugs consumed by Americans. It's kind of a big deal. Baxter Healthcare, a Fortune 500 healthcare company, owns and operates one of these major manufacturing plants located on the island.
This particular plant is a key supplier for saline bags to the United States. After the storm, this manufacturing plant has been limited to only one running shift per day. Because of the manufacturing limitations this plant is facing, the plant has not been able to produce these saline bags to the capacity needed, specifically mini bags and ViaFlex containers.
This is not good for us, Matt.
It's not.
There is now a large shortage of these products in hospitals throughout the United States, which has led us to a 600% markup of these
Wow,
products.
that's a lot.
These plastic bags contain 100 to 1,000 milliliters of sterile saline solution and have several uses in a hospital. The smaller bags, less than 250 milliliters, are often used to dilute the medications, like antibiotics, and administer intravenously to patients.
The larger volume bags, 500 milliliters and 1,000 milliliters, are often used to hydrate patients. Intravenous saline is a safe, effective way to deliver medicine and hydration to patients. Intravenous fluids of all compositions are necessary for hospital functionality. Many hospitals have reported that this shortage has caused a domino effect, leading to scarcities of a range of products.
We're in a lot of trouble here.
I think so.
Until the Puerto Rico plant can reopen at full capacity, the FDA has approved importation of these products from Baxter's manufacturing plants in Ireland and Australia. Other manufacturers of healthcare products have also been expected to increase their product supply in the U.S. in the next several weeks.
The FDA has been offering logistical solutions to this issue, which includes providing fuel generators for moving products off the island of Puerto Rico. But despite all of these efforts, hospitals are still unable to obtain enough saline bags to meet their demand. Until this shortage has been fully dealt with, Boise State nursing and business students have teamed up to offer practical, short-term solutions for this problem.
But first, we have Melonie and Jordan to demonstrate the uses of these products in hospitals throughout the United States so we can get a better idea of what's happening.
Let's take a look.
And now we're live with Matt. He's with some Boise State nursing students. Matt?
Hey Jake, that's right. I'm here in the Sim Lab with Jordan and Melonie, who are both BSN RN students at Boise State University, and we're going to let them demonstrate the uses of saline.
Thanks, Matt. So, as Jake and Matt mentioned earlier, sterile intravenous saline is mainly used for hydration, medication administration, and maintaining patent IV lines. As you can imagine, these uses are all very necessary for improving a client's condition. All patients require IV access and intravenous saline in case of an emergency. Hospitals rely heavily on saline, and because of Hurricane Maria, we now have a shortage of the bags that were traditionally relied upon. This is a huge problem because we are now having to change the way we administer the medications, which greatly increases the risk of medication errors. And Melonie's going to introduce the bags of saline.
So these are the 1,000 ml bags of saline, and their primary use is for hydration of patients, especially in patients who are unable to eat or swallow, where they would otherwise have been hydrated. These are the 500 milliliter bags of saline, and their primary uses are hydration of patients with smaller body masses and large medication administration. These are the 250 milliliter bags of saline, and their primary uses are for antibiotics and medications that are delivered in more concentrated doses. Here we also have a saline flush These typically come in sizes of 10 milliliters and are used to keep IVs patent, flush medications into the vein, and administer small doses of medication. Flushes have been used more now since the IV bag shortages, and nurses must be present to push these into the vein over a span of minutes. This is particularly inefficient and also increases the risk of medication errors.
Well, there you have it, Jake. Our specialists let us know what we're dealing with the saline shortage, so we're actually going to go back to you in the studio and Tori.
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with our supply chain specialist, Tori. She's going to give us insight on how we can solve this issue. Tori?
Well, fortunately, Jake, there are ways to mitigate the effects of the shortage. The first being supplemental conservation protocols enacted when a hospital supply of saline reaches a certain point, or when the assurance of replenishment is called into question. First of all, oral administration of medicine and hydrating liquid should be encouraged whenever possible. Additionally, it's known that medical suppliers push up the expiration dates on products with the goal of forcing hospitals to purchase more. In times of crisis, hospitals need to be able to lobby for the real expiration dates. This would extend their window of use and reduce the amount of wasted product. And while mitigation is good in the short term, these issues will only repeat themselves unless we change the way we procure this resource or how it works. For instance, manufacturers design their saline bags to work exclusively with their pumps. This is one of the reasons that saline was allowed to become a routine product, as it wouldn't make sense from a business standpoint to keep inventory on two separate types of pumps when that space could be used for other items. To remedy this, the World Health Organization could petition manufacturers to standardize their saline bags. They have been allowed to manipulate their scarcity for too long, and now patients and healthcare providers are paying this price. If this isn't a possible solution, perhaps an adapter could be developed that allowed different saline bags to work with different pumps. This is aimed at decreasing the uniqueness of supply, which is the primary tactic of bottleneck sourcing strategy. And if these aren't possible, then the best that hospitals can do is to diversify their suppliers. With as much of the U.S. supply of saline coming from Baxter, there was little reason for Baxter to focus on contingency planning or maintaining relationships with U.S. clients until after the disaster struck. The major drawback to supplier diversification or multi-sourcing strategies is higher average cost. If this is too much for hospitals to handle, dual sourcing is a healthy middle ground, which you give approximately 70% to businesses, 70% of businesses to one supplier and 30% to another. This allows that you keep system costs down while still keeping your primary supplier on their toes, as they know that you have a relationship with another supplier and could easily go elsewhere.
Well, there you have it, Jake. Sounds like the saline shortage is going to be an issue that's easy to describe but difficult to solve.
Exactly, Matt. From what we've learned today, decreasing risk in the supply chain almost always involves increasing costs at one level or another. And that can be difficult for businesses to invest in, as value generated is not immediately recognizable.
I think so. And from what it sounds like, if we don't change how the current saline is manufactured, this problem will repeat itself. We must understand how items in a hospital's supply chain are acquired and ensure that they are correctly classified in order to prevent worse consequences in the future.
This is Channel 4 BSU News with myself, Jake Strong, Matt Barlyski, Tori Ford, Melonie Abravanel, Jordan Anderson. And up next, how did President Custra deal with the backlash of the graduation attendance issue?
This will be fun.
Yeah.